Hey everyone, I'm Allison and you're watching Long Island Thrifter. I am back from Flipcon 2023 with some highlights from day one. Please note that I did go out thrifting, so I missed a few panels, and I do apologize to any of the speakers I did miss on day one. But I hope you enjoy this reel, and let me know down in the comments what you think.
Like, make some noise if you guys are here to not be comfortable right where you're at, okay? Because comfort pacifies you. Comfort will keep you stagnant. It's time to get out of your comfort zone. I'm willing to bet that you're being taken to a place higher than comfort. I want you to implement the changes that you're inspired to make at Flipcon while we're here. Don't wait until you get home to make the changes. Let Flipcon be the kindling, okay? It's not the spark. The spark is already inside you.
When I started YouTube, I just thought I'd share the way I resell. And what I didn't expect was how many people were going to tell me how the way I resell is wrong. It's one thing, because you're going to hear from a ton of people in here today. There's people that actually know how to resell. You know, and I'm not trying to say what Rachel said is wrong, because it's absolutely right. But for me, there was a certain level of contentment. I basically have resold the same way for 22 years. It's because I love it. It's different. Everybody's in a different situation. So when you're looking at some of these people, it's like they grow, they get better, they do things different, they make more money. And I'm selling Tupperware. Don't let it get you down that you're not at their level. Everybody has different needs. Everybody should, in my opinion, should do it the way that they want to do it. My suggestion is to take little bits from every single person and make it your own. Don't feel like you're a failure if you're not selling like Dalton. Most of us enjoy it and love it, and don't let the business overtake the hobby of it. Most resellers just love it and they're passionate about it, and don't ever forget your passion. And you know, you do it for your family and other things, but don't ever forget your passion. That's all.
So this next panel is about when to quit your job, if ever. Because I know a lot of people raised their hand earlier. You got full-time jobs, you're selling, you get part-time, or maybe you're right on the cusp wanting to make that switch. Maybe you just made the switch. So we have our friend Becky Park. She's somewhere. She's the one going to be on this panel. We've got my friend ADHDaveFlips, who just quit his job. And we have my beautiful wife, Hayley, who quit her job a couple years ago. There's different perspectives. I'll let everybody tell their own story. But we have Becky, who is a successful YouTuber and reseller that's actually making more money as that than at her full-time job, but she doesn't want to quit her full-time job. So that's the perspective of you don't have to quit your job to be successful. And then we have Dave, who just quit his job, six-figure job, by the way. I made a whole YouTube video about it. We know how much money he makes. And we have Hayley, who left behind a very prestigious career to sell junk on the internet. And that was a little decision for her as well. So.
I started reselling at the end of 2017. I started my YouTube channel about reselling part-time, probably in 2019, something like that. So, and then I'm married, I've got 2 kids.
I'm Dave, and I was in like the film industry field, making accessories for cameras for Hollywood, and did it for like 12 years. And recently quit because, well, I wanted to, and I could.
I'm Hayley. I quit my job 2 years ago. I have a college degree in biochemistry. I only worked for like 5 years before I quit, but when I quit, it was like the biggest thing. And I was like, I don't like quitting. I don't want to let people down. I'm a people pleaser. I want literally everybody in this room to go home and like feel happy about this event. And I quit 2 years ago, and I'm never going back. So, yeah.
What factors influence your decision to maintain your traditional employment, and how do you manage the balance between your secure employment and your entrepreneurial pursuits?
Yeah, so when Josh sent these questions, I had to think about it a lot, and I think it comes down to 2 things. And I think it goes without saying too, like what everyone is sharing up here, this is all our own personal experiences, and never are we trying to say like you should do things exactly the way we do them because it worked for us, it should work for you. I know everyone has different circumstances. But for me, it came down to 2 things. One was my husband. When we had the conversation of, should I stop teaching so that I can do this other stuff full time? Because like Josh said, I'm making more money from reselling in YouTube than I am as a teacher because we get paid nothing. Part of my reasoning for, continuing to work a regular full-time job was to honor my husband and understanding like who he is and what he needed to like function on a daily basis. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't support me or believe in me. He absolutely did. Ultimately, I think I knew like what was best for him and for us was to keep that sense of stability.
So what was a defining moment for you or driving force that led you to finally make a decision like, hey, I'm gonna leave this and pursue this dream?
It was predetermined. I wanted to leave in 2020 when I started my YouTube channel. I've always loved to resell. And so I said, reselling is awesome. I'm not good enough at it to replace my income. Maybe I can combine it with content creation. And with those two things combined, replace my income to the point where I'm not trapped under a box, basically. Where I'm not working every day to make someone else wealthy, but instead working every day to make myself better off and hopefully wealthy one day.
So like, I guess my story is a little different because when I even started contemplating leaving my job, I did not care about YouTube and I did not care about reselling. I really didn't. Like a lot of people in your life, like when you have decisions that are like, oh, that's a silly decision. Like to go quit your job to sell random stuff you get at garage sales, like that doesn't make any sense.
What was like the one thing that you finally like broke down and saw everything like, okay, I think this is time, I think it's okay that I can quit?
I just had to get rid of people's expectations of me, and that's a really hard thing for me to do. But there was a turning point for me, and I remember it. I do have FOMO, like the fear of missing out on something, and I remember it was a couple months before, like when I first started thinking about my job, quitting my job, Josh flew out to Utah and met Hustle at Home Mom, and I was going to Thrift, and I didn't have the PTO to go. And like a lot of you know, like I go to Honduras every year, like I was using literally all of my PTO, the 2 weeks that the company gave me to do other things, and I never really could do fun things like that. And he got back, I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. So then I literally spent like a month, and like Josh did a test, like we went back and forth discussing different scenarios, and like, oh, when did this happen? He's like, don't worry about it. Like we're talking about TJ, we're talking about your husband being like supportive, like Josh was there and supportive. And like back before this ever even started, but all of this craziness started, Josh was selling insurance, as many of you know, and he made like $9,000. I had kind of carried him for a little bit, and he was finally like, wait, you don't have to do this anymore, I can carry you. And so it took me a really long time. I had to get rid of all those like expectations of people. And when I finally told people I was quitting, people were like, oh, okay. Like they like believed in me so much that because I was saying I was quitting, they were like, we believe you. Like we know it's gonna be successful.
So I've been doing YouTube for 4 years now. Started reselling when I was 12 years old on an internet website called eBay in the late 90s. And I was going to auctions and I was buying video games. And then I also bought video games from a pawn shop in my town for $3. And I was buying those games and I was selling them on eBay. And I was making a lot of money. Started the channel 4 years ago. And it has been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun. And then recently, about a year ago, I bought a brick and mortar video game store. So now I'm doing that as well.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and my YouTube channel is Hustle at Home Mom. And I'm here with TJ, my very awesome husband, who really is the solid foundation upon which I have built anything I have. And people like Josh, Taylor, Greg, who so super inspired me. I sell mostly pre-owned clothing and shoes on eBay, and it's been really fun. I started on Amazon, did a bunch of that. That's not as shareable as eBay is, and so I decided to just kind of lean into that and share my journey. And I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids. My life is insane, but I'm able to make an income on the side, and I'm just beyond grateful to be here. I'm grateful that anybody watches. I have the best job, and I feel bad for TJ who has a regular job and doesn't get to find cool treasures and sell them on eBay with me. So.
I'm TJ. My responsibilities include liking Ashley's videos.
Are you watching them?
I watch them too.
Oh, well,
I just let it run. My other responsibility includes if someone says something mean in the comments, I block them and then go to their channel and then put thumbs down. And I don't know if that does anything, but it feels good inside. That's what I do.
So I did a complete 180 of my entire life, come back in 2020, and everything changed. I moved back home, I moved in with my parents, I said to myself, I'm going to be a full-time eBay seller. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Never edited a video in my life. I've never sold a product online. But I said to myself, that's what I'm going to do. Use my past sales experience of 10 years to just start again, start something fresh. And I thought to myself, if I was ever going to give it a go, in a tough environment that COVID is, it might have been a blessing in disguise, and it gives me the opportunity to just give it a try. So I did, I got into it, and then I quickly realised that I knew absolutely nothing. I couldn't sell anything, I was buying the wrong product, I was also making 3 videos a week from the very beginning. There's a lot of you that have been in the game for a long time, and you'll understand that it does take a while, doesn't it? You really got to learn your stripes, you've got to learn what to do. But what I found over time was that there are certain products in Australia that do sell really well, and I'll try to hone in onto those, and I'll try to niche myself down into about 4 or 5 different categories. 33%, a third of my sales have turned into DVDs, which is really surprising if you told me that I was flipping DVDs on eBay. It's just not something I thought would sell. There's a market for it over in Australia, and there's a market for Aussies buying US copies of DVDs as well. So I've kind of honed into that over the course of the last couple of years. I'm still focusing on that, and I'm still here 3 years later, making YouTube videos, selling stuff on eBay, and getting to do this. Pretty cool.
You guys have got a lot of different platforms compared to us in Australia. We really are, we've got eBay. Basically, Poshmark hasn't taken off in Australia. We don't have Macari. Amazon in Australia, I have never ordered from Amazon Australia.
Wow.
While I've been in America, I've ordered 2 things on Amazon. In Australia, it's just not something that's taken off. So we're really reliant on eBay. And the Australians are really shopping on eBay. So you guys, if anybody in here isn't doing international post, you should be, because we're looking for some of this stuff.
It's so true. I'm 100% like Mel, just purely selling on eBay. I would love to diversify and put product onto other platforms. We just don't have a market for it anywhere else. It is literally the number 1 place, eBay.
If anybody's got like a really massive death pile, I really encourage you to maybe think of it like I am now, as a virus that's spreading through your store, and maybe come away from these kind of events thinking about, how is my store running? And there's a lot of successful people in here running successful stores and YouTube channels, and what are they doing differently that's making them so much more productive than maybe what I'm doing? Watch other people and learn from other people on how they're doing their processes and their systems. I'm coming back home with a fire in my belly, and I'm going to take a lot of action, and I hope everyone here does as well.
Thanks for watching, Long Island Thrifter. If you enjoyed this video, please tap the like button, and if so inclined, please subscribe. Until next time, keep on thrifting.